Hamilton Beach 8-cup food processor. It's 15.5 inches tall and 10.7 inches wide. It weighs a little over 6 pounds. It's a mid-sized food processor. It has 2 speeds and pulse control. If you choose 1 or 2, the processor will run continuously. The unit has suction cups on the base, so it shouldn't move around on your counter. This 8-cup food processor comes with the base, plastic work bowl, lid, food pusher, chopping and mixing blade, reversible shredding and slicing disc, and an instruction manual. The maximum amount of fruits, vegetables, meat that you can process is listed in the manual. This food processor is designed to chop, mix, slice, or shred. Hamilton Beach recommends that you do not grind spices, crush ice, or knead dough. I wouldn't recommend doing those things in most food processors because that's really not the purpose of a food processor. However, you can knead dough in higher-end food processors. To put the unit together, turn the unit clockwise to lock into place. Put the blade on the motor shaft, turn the lid clockwise to lock, put the food pusher in the food chute. Always make sure the knob is off or on O before you put the lid on because you don't want the machine to accidentally start. To disassemble, make sure the machine is on off, unplug the unit, then remove the lid. Just turn and remove. Remove the blade, turn the work bowl, and remove. Let's go ahead and test the unit. First, I'll chop onions. Make sure the unit is set to off. Put the chopping mixing blade on the motor shaft. I have 2 medium yellow onions cut into about 1-inch pieces. Lock the lid. Put the food pusher in the food chute. Make sure the button is on off. I'll unplug the machine, take the cover off. The Hamilton Beach did a decent job of chopping the onions. They're not all perfectly even, but it's all chopped up decently. And the onions were chopped very quickly. The more you pulse, the finer the onions will be. I'll empty this and puree some tomatoes. These are 3 medium tomatoes cut into 1-inch pieces. The tomatoes are nicely pureed in just a few seconds. Next, I'll slice a cucumber using the disc. I've removed the chopping blade. Place the disc with the slicing blade on top. It'll say slice here. That goes right on top. Always hold the disc by the sides because the blade is sharp. Lock the lid. My cucumber will fit in the food chute hole up to a certain point. It gets a little bit thicker up here and it will get stuck, so I'm going to cut the cucumber in half. That fits nicely. The food chute measures less than 2 inches across and about 3 inches lengthwise. So you're not going to be able to fit a whole pepper, a whole apple, or any big fruits like that. You will have to cut the produce. Always use the food pusher to push the food down when you're slicing or shredding. I'll use the 1 setting. You can remove the blade by holding onto the square tab in the middle. It's a little tricky, so be careful. The cucumber is sliced, but they're not all perfectly even. Most of them, however, are the same thickness. Cucumber was also sliced pretty quickly. Next, I'll shred carrots. This time I'll use the side that says shred and put that on top. Carrots fit really nicely in the food chute because they're slim. You have to watch where you put the carrots because the shredding disc has 2 big holes and one of my carrots just went right through the hole. I'm going to hold the carrots and use the pulse button. Now I'll use the food pusher. There are 2 big pieces of carrots on the disc. With any food processor, you will find some big pieces on top of the disc. You can stick your finger in the square tab and that might be safest. The carrots are shredded very nicely. Let's try making some pie dough. I have the chopping mixing blade in the bowl. I'm putting in 2 cups of all-purpose flour and a 1/4 teaspoon salt. I'm adding 2/3 of a cup of cubed butter. It's best to cube it and make sure it's nice and cold. You can chill it in the fridge for a few minutes. I also have a couple of tablespoons of cold water. I'll put the lid on. Put the food pusher in. Plug in the machine. Good. There are 2 holes in the food pusher, so you can add water through the food pusher. Let's try that. That looks good. There is some flour on top of this bowl here. It's really hard to get a grip on the blade and take it out. So I'm just going to remove the bowl first. The top of the blade is slippery and it's plastic, so it's really hard to get out. You can stick your finger in the middle and then pull it out. That works best. Okay, that's not bad. There's some flour on the bottom, but the dough is pretty much formed. I can take this, hold it together, and form a nice disc that I can flatten, wrap up, and put it in the fridge. I wasn't sure how well the Hamilton Beach would handle pie dough because it's an inexpensive machine, but it did a pretty good job. The removable parts of the unit are dishwasher safe on the top rack, but of course, as always, I recommend hand washing it in warm soapy water right after use. This unit is light enough to move to a cabinet and take out when you need it. It really didn't move around on the countertop while I was using it, which is good. The unit did a decent job on the onions. The tomatoes were pureed nicely. The unit sliced the cucumbers, but not evenly. First, you got circles, and then you got this oval shape. If you don't mind different shapes, then you can use the slicer. It does work and it's fast, but you're not going to get even shapes. The unit processed the carrots nicely and quickly. I was pleasantly surprised that the unit can handle pie dough. If you're looking for a machine to chop onions, puree, and make dough once in a while, then this Hamilton Beach 8-cup will do. It's not that great for slicing because the results are not even. It's an inexpensive unit and fine for those who just want to use a food processor once in a while. The link to the Hamilton Beach 8-cup food processor is in the description below. I hope you found this review useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe for more reviews. Thanks for watching.